It's hard for somebody who's rich to enter into the kingdom of heaven. This is the most misinterpreted verse in the entire Bible. And it's got a lot of people stuck. Just like social media, a lot of people just like to take a clip of a video and have it fit a narrative. A lot of people have taken a clip of the Bible, this particular verse, of the whole chapter, not understand the context of it, and feeding a false narrative. This verse is not saying if you are rich, you cannot go to heaven. This verse is not saying if you make a lot of money, you will not go to heaven. This verse is saying if you are trusting in your riches, because this is the pattern for most people, the more they get money, the more it gets into their head. The more they think they've made it and they got to figure it out. They don't need nobody. A lot of rich people think that way, where the thought of Jesus has not even crossed your mind because they got it all figured out. The Bible says because of what money does to somebody, it's hard for them to get into the kingdom of heaven. It's not saying money is bad. It's saying those who are trusted in their wealth and their good deeds, it's hard for them to get into the kingdom of heaven. It even gets to the point of saying it's easy for a camel to fit through the little hole in the needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. For somebody who's rich in their works, who's rich in their good deeds, who thinks their good deeds is enough for them to earn salvation. Salvation is a gift God gives us, not a gift that we earned. Let me tell you something. Money is a very good servant, but a very, very corrupt master. And when money has control of you, you lose focus of the most important things, and even the one thing that will save your life, and that is Jesus Christ. That's what the Bible tells us, not to love money, but love the Lord our God with all of our hearts, with all of our mind, with all of our soul. The Bible says you cannot serve both God and mammon. Mammon was the God, lower G, of wealth, false prosperity, false riches, whatever that's called. A lot of people are putting their trust in their money. A lot of people are putting their trust in their good works, saying, I am a good person, so I will get into heaven. A lot of religions, especially Islam and many other ones, think access to God and access to heaven is through doing something good. It's getting to the point where, okay, my good deeds, hopefully they overweigh my bad deeds. The Bible tells us that our righteousness compared to God's righteousness is like a filthy rag. What makes you think that you can do enough good to subsidize your sin? Jesus comes with a whole different thing to throw all of this out the park. He says, with man, this is impossible, but not with God. For with God, all things are possible. Salvation through the works of man is impossible. It's like telling a dog to give birth to a cow. It doesn't make any sense. But with God, all things are possible because he's the definition of righteousness. So it's only through him we can receive salvation. That's why Jesus was sinless. It's only through being righteous you can save somebody. A blind person cannot lead another blind person across the street. It takes for someone who can see to lead a blind person across the street. A lot of people are thinking they will get to heaven by being righteous. You are not righteous. The Bible says there's no one who's good, not even one. This is not saying if you have money, you're going to go to hell. This is not saying if you are rich, it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It becomes a bad thing when the riches have you, when they're in control of you, when they're making you lose track or sight of what's important, Jesus Christ. The Bible is telling us not to get consumed by the things of this world, but completely trust in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Believe that.